the fuck is going? Yo, what's poppin'? All my peeps, it is I, your host with the most Renaissance man, who always thinks he can, and your champion. Oh, it still hurts. Of the peeps, Patty Pitts, back once again in the Yard Streams for another edition of Pitts and Sara's Wrestling Show, where we take no nights off. And it's not just me, Patty P, here in the Yard of Streams. I'm joined as always by the best of the West. You can't forget about Sara Marshall. What's popping, girl?
Hey, yo.
Hello.
Hey, yo. How we doing on this fine-ass Thanksgiving Eve?
It's fine.
We're just doing fine.
Just another day. Yeah.
You're tired. You're yawning.
Yeah, I've been sleeping really bad and not able to catch up on sleep. So
Ooh, that's tough.
Yeah, it's not fun. So
That isn't. I slept till 1 o'clock today.
I don't know what
And
that's like.
I'm not kidding you, because it's not straight through. I will say that it is, you wake up, you go to the bathroom, and at some point I did not want to go back to sleep, but I'm watching stuff, and I really had nothing to do today on my day off from work that was pressing. So, I did that. I caught up on NXT, watched that because I was out on a little date last night to the Bruins. So I caught up on NXT, and it's weird we're not going to do the Who's in the Car this week because obviously we're on Wednesday. Dynamite hasn't gone off, and so I don't want to fully rank everything if one hasn't gone yet. So, but as we say every week, it feels just like NXT just gets better and better. It just, as great as the main roster is, they are on a different level than NXT, but NXT is delivering as equal to a Dynamite in, their stories, their feuds, the wrestling itself. It's up there, and there's a reason
if you look
why.
at the numbers, it's
better
than Dynamite.
You were holding my hand on that little thing there. So I love NXT at this point. And then, with Survivor Series coming up, War Games, I actually watched an old War Games match or watched like an old Fall Brawl or something. Because like the old stuff, I want your thoughts in this, because when I was working in my dad's kitchen with one of the cooks, we would talk wrestling just nonstop. Everything from, the old school days, the new days, just different shit like that. And he always said wrestling repeats itself. He just said it all the time. So it just stuck with me. And I'm seeing a lot of repeating from like the old stuff, even like 80s, early 90s, with a lot of things we're seeing nowadays. It's like it's not been recycled, but you can tell it started from somewhere.
I think. Oh, sorry. Ooh, I think. History repeats itself. So I feel like that's just something you could say about everything, really. So I don't think it's necessarily exclusive to wrestling, but I think that we're in a unique time if we're talking about WWE, because Triple H is running the main roster. He was a wrestler. He was a part of some of the biggest times in WWE, the Attitude Era, the Ruthless Aggression Era, the PG era. So we're seeing certain things repeat because he's picking and being like, all right, well, this worked. This is going to work. The fans will love this. And it's the same thing with Shawn Michaels. Like, how many things have we seen of somebody doing exactly what Shawn did in a match during his career?
No, numerous.
So I think it's
Times.
easy to be like, yeah, it's repeating in WWE because two former wrestlers are like head of creative for these brands. And
DX.
then there's an argument that you could say it. I mean, if there are similarities in AEW, simply because Tony grew up a wrestling fan, the Attitude Era was his bread and butter, so that is easy to be like, okay, he's going to draw inspiration from that time because that's what made him a fan. That's what made him want to put the money behind creating the competition. So it feels like if we're getting any repeats, it's like coming from that standpoint,
Oh, agreed. It's the best. It's awesome. I mean, this
Yeah.
is just when wrestling's at its best. When you have WWE, obviously every week knocking out of the park, but then also have some healthy competition with AEW, even TNA, they're crushing it. And then you have these other promotions like MLW, where, obviously they're a no level of WWE, but they're putting on a very good product and easily accessible too, with it being just free shows on YouTube. And then you're seeing the future stars of, either AEW or WWE or even the past stars, because
Yeah.
favorite wrestler in the world, Sarah, Matt Riddle, is on the brand. So
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
he's kind of doing well. Though. I
Don't
know
care.
but I know you don't, but he's carved a niche for himself.
Not really. He's exactly the same person, but
Okay. All right. Well, let's just hear from Lenice then. She says hi. Vinny says hi. Welcome back. Oh, sorry. You said it again. Hi again. And Sophia, thank you. Thank you. I love my Yeet sweatshirt. So comfy too. Oh,
I don't even
hey,
own a sweatshirt anymore with a hoodie.
you gotta get on that. All right. You gotta up your
I'll never wear them here. It like never
well,
gets cold
that's
enough.
so what do you mean? Even at night it doesn't?
How often am I going outside at night when it's actually really cold? Never.
To be fair, sitting outside at night like a little fire, that hits. That's just a form of peace that I crave in my future, like every
Mm.
night. But we're not there yet. We're gonna get there. Dickie, we're talking war games. Don't you
Yep.
worry. Okay. Not only our thoughts, but maybe who we think is going to be, or who we would put on our own war games team. Yeah, I'm stealing from a WWE trend. Sue me. All right. If y'all got time, check out the WWE Vault. Yes, the WWE Vault is sick. I was doing something similar, not on the Vault, but like the Peacock old pay-per-views are just on set here. So yeah. Midwestern Mormon, happy Thanksgiving to you too.
Thank
Okay.
you. Oh my goodness.
Hope it's happy, healthy, and everyone gets a much necessary R&R. So, and then anyone else? Oh, we got Aaron Teagle. What's up, Sarah Marshall? How you doing? Are you guys ready
Happy
for War Games?
Thanksgiving.
Yes, very excited for War Games. And then
Oops.
Nathaniel is just letting you know that the Lakers are playing. So, yeah,
Okie dokie.
just that's all we got for our peeps. So I think it's time to transition and talk about or go into our first segment of the week.
Don't be a lemon, be a rosebud.
Don't be a lemon, Sarah, be a rosebud. It is our lemons and rosebuds of the week, our favorite and least favorite things that we saw in the wrestling world so far this week. And it is only Wednesday. We usually do this on Thursdays. So but we're going to contain what we contain. So, Sarah, been royal rambling. What is your favorite thing you saw in wrestling this week?
I would say the introduction of the Women's Intercontinental Championship on Raw. So we kind of knew that this was going to be coming because they introduced the women's US title on SmackDown. So it was like, all right, well, they're clearly going to do that with the Intercontinental Championship as well. But we didn't really get a hint about the US title at all. It was like you found out via dirt sheets before the show aired that it was going to be happening, but there was nothing like, oh, something's coming or whatever. So we didn't expect that to happen with the Intercontinental Championship either. And they didn't even show it on TV. It was like before, like they showed it, but I mean, it wasn't like they presented it
It's so
on
weird how they
TV.
did it.
I
Like, I
know.
don't understand why they did it the way they did.
Me neither.
I can't. I don't
I
understand.
guess that would be like a lemon of that, but I'm trying.
That would be my I have another lemon, like a legit
Me too.
lemon, but
Yeah.
that is a lemon of Raw this week for sure.
Yeah, because it kind of made it feel not important or something, like not a significant thing. And it's like there are 7 championships for women in WWE right now. So that's pretty crazy
That's
considering there used to be one, you know. So I don't know. I think that's going to be exciting, and now we can talk about, okay, who should be in line for the first women's Intercontinental Championship, because they're probably going to be doing a tournament as well, just like they are on SmackDown. And I feel like Raw is going to be interesting because I think there's a lot more mid-card women on Raw than there are on SmackDown. So there's a lot of opportunity on Raw, I would say. Because, you know, we've talked about SmackDown being so packed with like some of the top women in the company. So it narrows down, okay, well, yeah, it should be Chelsea or it should be Michin or it should be whoever. But like on Raw, it's like there's a lot that could get it. So I'm interested to see who they go with, like who's in the tournament. Because I if you just ask me, I don't know. I've seen a lot of people saying Lyra. They
Oh,
want
no, I
Lyra.
haven't. Yeah, they haven't announced who's in the tournament yet, but
Yeah.
there's a lot of speculation of who could be in, like, Zoe Stark. I think Zoe Stark could be someone that's a good
Mm-hmm.
candidate to be the number 1 the first champion.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I don't hate the Lyra idea either, but I haven't
I
sat
love
there and
that.
like thought about it. So I'm
Yeah.
interested. I'm excited for the women. It's like it's another achievement that they've made and just shows you the progression of the women's division and how they're treating the women in the company, because
Mhm.
this doesn't feel like something that would have happened with Vince. So I can give Triple H some kudos for that.
My Rosebud, other than, oh shit, what was it? I mean, AEW Full Gear was really good. I don't have real one Rosebud from that. I'm gonna there's a couple of things that I could do for my Rosebud. Um, but I think it's the tag team division in NXT right now.
Mm.
I love how NXT does their books the lull between challengers for the champion.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's like, all right, well, who else can challenge Axiom and Frazier? Like
Mm-hmm.
at this point, and
Faxium.
who's ridiculous name, and who like it's who could challenge them at this point because it seems like they've beat everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and you have Ava, who that's a rosebud in itself. Her leading NXT, she's been incredible in her role, and you have her announce that it's gonna be battle royal and all this stuff. Tag teams need to step up, and it just instant brawls. I mean, you're doing a picture in picture of I think it was the Tony D'Angelo match,
Mm-hmm.
and picture in picture with that, and a brawl between all the tag teams outside in the NXT parking lot. Like just it's little stuff like that is that's so well done that you could do on the main show, but it wouldn't it wouldn't make as much sense as it does now.
I Yeah, I think the thing that I like about it is it's a way to make the titles feel important,
Yeah.
because all of these people are fighting just to get a chance at having a title match or to be that champion. Like it means that much to them that they're willing to like brawl in the parking lot or something. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like that is a good way to build that up. So that's why I wouldn't hate that coming up a little bit more on the main roster, like even with the new women's titles. Like that would be a cool twist with the Jade situation, like someone took her out because they wanted to be in for the US title tournament. Like stuff like that I think is important, because there are going to be people, let's say for NXT or something, that maybe are sick of Faxium being
Yeah.
tag team champions, because they have been for a while. There was that one period where they weren't for a little bit, but
It was for Chase U. It was to further the
yeah,
Chase U Ridge Holland story, which
yeah,
obviously.
yeah. So I don't know. I think that's how I interpret those types of segments, you know?
Yeah. And not only it's not just that as an example of how well they're booking it, but the flow of the show. I mean, you have Ren, like just a great example of this. It's one segment before the main event, or whatever. And you have Ren Sinclair coming out with Charlie Dempsey, and then the other two members, Miles and I forget the other guy's name, who went to Japan. But they came back and they all met, but it was like them coming from the brawl in the parking lot. Ren was coming out from seeing medical after getting punched in the face by Lola so hard. And it's them catching each other up on like what's going to happen next week. Just little things like that in conversation where it's not like in your face, but then
Yeah.
it gives like their reaction. Like, I don't know. I really enjoy that stuff with what NXT is doing. It's really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah, what's your lemon, Sarah? We actually, do we, you know what? No, let's do lemon and then comments, because we have a shit ton of comments that we have to get to.
So mine is kind of covered in with a banner that you already have, but I guess I'll make it a little bit different. So I would say my lemon of the week, if we even want to say like, I don't know, maybe jackass of the week, Tony Khan.
Oh yeah.
In case you guys are not aware, there is a lot of drama with the Khans, because I would say it's not just Tony, it's Papa Khan as well, allegedly. That they are holding talent hostage and not allowing them to leave, despite them not being on television for months and months, and they have literally no plans for them to be on television for months. So the latest, of course, is Phoenix, right? Phoenix is one of them.
Oh,
yeah.
sorry.
No, I was going to say Ricky too. One of them is Phoenix, who's one half of the Lucha Brothers, which we know that they were rumored to be coming to WWE.
It was, yeah.
But because, what's the other one's name? Penta. Okay. He's been injured. So
no, wrong. You have it wrong. No, flip
it backwards?
Flip it. Yes, backwards.
Oh, okay.
It was
so
Ray Phoenix.
Okay, so Ray Phoenix has been injured, and then Tony was trying to tack on months
Injury
to
time.
his contract to like make up for the time that he missed because he was injured, to prevent him from going to WWE. That's still happening. And so that's a drama, because that's ridiculous. And then of course, Ricky Starks is being punished for doing nothing, essentially. He's not been on television since March, and he was at a GCW show, but he's basically being punished for somebody else talking about Tony, Papa Khan, and AEW.
Yeah, Effie went on a rant about it.
He wasn't wrong, though.
No, he's not wrong.
He's not wrong. He was just saying, he basically was just saying that he holds talent hostage despite not having any plans for them, that they can continue to thrive at a loss.
That's what I saw. No, that's what I saw. They operate at a $40 million loss.
I told you that these lies, I told you these numbers were lies when they were saying that they were thriving. They are not thriving, but
yeah, because they have the Jaguars money.
Exactly. So that's what that's what Effie said
all over again.
Yes, that's what Effie said, that you don't hear about all of this, or you don't hear about what's really going on, because you have Papa Khan backing them, and he has an endless amount of money. So if they're at a loss, well, he can just give them the 40 million or whatever, because it's like that's pocket change to him. And because he also threw in kind of the Ricky situation, Ricky is now being punished, and it seems that they're tacking on some more time to his contract. What?
They pulled him from the GCW event.
So he's now not able to attend 3 to 4 scheduled matches and events that he was going to be at for GCW because they pulled him from them, punishing him again for something he didn't do or say.
Yeah.
And his contract allegedly doesn't run out until the spring or summer of 2025. So it's possible that they will be holding him hostage in AEW for another 6 to, I don't know, 9 months, simply because Tony knows he's BFFs with Cody Rhodes. So why wouldn't he go to WWE? And so when we talk about these things, the reason, other than all of this being my lemon, of course, because this is ridiculous. These are real people that you're talking about.
Yeah.
These are people's careers that you're halting. So it's not just like, yeah, it's business, but it's like there are real people involved. This isn't a trading card game. This isn't something that doesn't matter. And the other part that makes me frustrated is that this was something that a lot of wrestling fans, including some of the loudest AEW loyalists out there, hated about Vince McMahon, because he would have a ton of talent that would be in the back in catering for every show for 6 months, a year. And he would be like, what are you doing? Why are you not releasing this person? But they've got nothing to say when it's dudes in that company that they watch. And it's people like, we're not talking about small time people that are jobbers. Okay. Like, that was the main thing. I mean, I'm not saying with everybody, but a lot of the people that Vince did that to were people that weren't super over, were not top names. They weren't main eventing, nothing. You can't say that about the Lucha Brothers, and you can't say that about Ricky Starks. And those are just 2 names that aren't on TV. That's not, everybody that is sitting in the back or not even there, because they're not even there. So I think it's just a hypocrisy in the entire situation that frustrates me, because if it's a problem in one company, it's a problem anywhere it's happening. So call him out. And as the is it the tribal chief or final boss? What's his name today? Is it final boss?
It's final boss today.
Okay. Free Ricky. Let this motherfucker go, bro. Like, you have no plans to use him. And the only reason you're keeping him is because you don't want him to go to the other company. Why?
I don't know.
Why? Because you're going to be mad that he'll probably be a big star in NXT, probably maybe first. You don't want the Lucha Brothers to go because you know that they're like an automatic. They're an automatic draw,
Automatic.
Like, it goes back to things that I've said before, and I think you agreed, but it goes back to the insecurity of Tony Khan. And you can't treat your business this way. If you believe in your company, if you believe in the talent that you have, if you believe that you could be a bigger and better company, you believe that you can put on a better show, you believe that you're going to bring in more talent that are going to be stars, who cares if these 3 guys that you're not even putting on TV go to the other company? Why does that matter?
I couldn't agree more. Really.
You let Jade go.
Yeah,
you let Cody go. You didn't put up a fight for them. You know what I mean?
Put up a way bigger fight for Cody Rhodes.
I know. So that's what I'm saying. But you're acting like this and I'm not disrespecting them, but you're acting this way for Ricky Starks and the Lucha Brothers. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
You didn't act like this with Cody Rhodes and Jade Cargill? Bro.
The Jade Cargill let go is going to be talked about for years to come, because the amount of improvement I have seen from watching her be TBS champion and undefeated for 60 plus matches to now, she's better now than she was during that. And that's insane to me.
Yeah. And I mean, I think that they could have put up a much bigger fight with Cody, obviously. And I think things would have gotten ugly simply because of how much he had in the company. It wasn't just like, oh, we're releasing a wrestler. It's like, no, he's an EVP, that would have gotten bigger, ugly,
which is even crazier.
But yeah, they could have put up a bigger fight. And I think that it was kind of destined that he was going to come back anyway, because what Cody Rhodes is in WWE right now would never have happened in AEW because he was involved in the back stuff, So
he even said that.
But look at how fucking huge this dude is, bro.
He's
Like,
top seller on Fanatics
I
for
know.
any
And
athlete.
he himself would give back Tony that 40 million that they're losing.
Yeah, at this point, he'd be like,
In
you know what, you
merch
can just.
sales. Yeah.
His
Crazy.
merch sales are ridiculous.
Yeah, it's
like
insane.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hate
I mean,
to.
they've let other people go too. I mean, Sean Spears,
Sean
he's
Spears was a bad loss. That
that's
was a
bad.
bad one.
I'm trying to think like who else would be.
If Tony was smart to be pushing Ricky to the moon, he would be. I
Exactly.
mean, dude, the dude can ball.
And
I know ball.
I love his interview with Chris Van Vliet too, because bro does not give a single fuck.
Oh, I've seen clips. I haven't watched. I'm driving to the Cape tomorrow, so it's like an hour ride. I'm going to listen to it then. I have not had the time this week.
I love
but I've seen clips. They're fucking awesome.
I love when he talks about ruffling Adam Copeland's feathers.
Yeah, I saw that clip. That was really funny.
What it's funny to see some of the people in the replies, you know, because obviously it's been posted on every platform trying to defend him. And I'm like, no, guys, that was real.
No,
he
was
pissed because he wanted to come in and he was like, I'm fucking Adam Edge Copeland. Okay. You can't talk shit to me. You can't do this. You can't do that. Like, I'm a legend. And he didn't like it that somebody was stepping up to him, looking him straight in the eyes, talking shit to him. Not even that bad. Let's be real. Ricky didn't really say anything other than you have bulgy eyes. Brother, you do. Be self-aware. So I loved that part because it was like he did not care. But
no.
Yeah.
No, it was awesome.
Anyway.
My lemon isn't as serious as that. It's more just a actual wrestling lemon. I don't like Eddie Thorpe. I don't. I think his gimmick is just stupid. And they did an angle with him this week of how he like went to touch Ava and like grab her and be like, no, listen to me.
Yeah, and Sean got in his face.
And then HBK wanted to super kick him to the moon.
Being on.
But yeah, like it has nothing to do with, oh, I think like he shouldn't have done that. Like, no, I'm talking behind like the character itself of Eddie Thorpe. It just in this new name. You know who he dates?
No.
Dakota Kai.
Ooh, I don't know what he looks like, honestly. But Thorpe is such a horrible last name. I don't like it.
Yeah, it's something it has to do with his Native American roots or something. That's the whole part of his game. I
don't know anything about him, honestly.
He's a Native American DJ. That's what he basically comes off as.
Okay.
It's not bad. I don't mind the gimmick, but I'm talking about the business as a whole, like the greater good, is that he just doesn't fit right now. There's no one that I can just see him. Oh yeah, feud with him, like that'll go well, or that's entertaining. You know, that deserves TV time. There's just nothing that right now. So yeah, I'm out. Don't care.
Richard says that the segment was awkward. It was awkward.
It was so awkward to watch.
The reason it was awkward was because of Copeland. I'm just saying. Because, like I said, Ricky didn't say anything crazy. He said you got bulgy eyes, basically. Like, that's all he said. And then he got so pissed that he called him a vanilla midget and a rock ripoff. Like, bro, it's like what Ricky says. Like, you couldn't have come off more 2000s. Like, and he was so upset. And that's why he stumbled his words and stuff. Like, so embarrassing, bro. Ooh.
Oh, like... Final boss. The memes I've seen about the amount of Samoans that are going to come to the aid of Ava, all those memes are so funny. 5,103 Samoans are on their way to Orlando right now.
I agree to this to an extent. I think he has rehired some good people. We've talked about Chelsea Green is probably the best rehire.
Easily best rehire.
Karrion Kross is one of our favorites also, and I think people are seeing it a little bit more recently.
That's a slow roast. That one's a slow cook. That one's the one you got to cook on slow.
And I don't have too much of an argument to make to counter who he's released because they weren't on TV. and they just like it just wasn't clicking with Tegan Knox. It wasn't clicking for Baron Corbin on the main roster. So it's like these things, it's like, okay, yeah, they're released. Like it sucks for the people involved. It sucks for the people that rooted for them. But like this isn't like, you know, when Vince released Bray Wyatt and everyone was like, what the fuck? You know?
there's levels to this shit. Like it's
Yeah.
Tegan Knox is more of an AEW wrestler in my eyes. I see her being that type of wrestler, you know, TNA, AEW. It just it doesn't gel with this WWE roster or this fan base. I mean,
Logan wants Bailey to turn heel at War Games because Io is justified why she turned her back on Bailey. I mean,
that's why you go into War Games.
Yeah, but didn't we say that we kind of wanted? Oh yeah, Indy Hartwell was kind of surprised too. So that was surprising. I can't defend that.
I forgot.
Yeah.
I can't defend that either. I liked Indy a lot.
Well, and she had been on TV every week.
That made no sense.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
Okay, let's see. Rick says the reason TK is emboldened to hold people now is directly due to the fact that Cody and Jade left. The company wasn't ice cold, and now they are. TK isn't lost on that. He's just in denial. Yeah. And it's like, from a business standpoint, do you get why you want to retain some of your better talent? Of course. Like, you don't want to just be like, yeah, please go as you want, you know, because there could be plenty of people that feel, okay, I think I'll have a better career in NXT and then move to the main roster. Or, you know, the connection, I think there's that line of connection between a lot of people in AEW to Jade and to Cody specifically. So because they're all still friends and intermingle, it's always going to be in their ear that they have an alternative, you know? So, I mean, even CM Punk, let's talk about that. That's another huge TK mistake, if we're being honest. Like, I'm not saying that Punk was an angel. He wasn't. Obviously, I'm the number one person
that's
to tell you.
I'm on Punk's side.
Yeah. But yeah, so the thing is, though, is like, yeah, the company is not where you want it to be, and now you're holding them hostage, but you have no plan to use them. So the whole idea of not wanting to let talent leave doesn't make sense when you have no plans for them, because at least that would be the argument. Well, yeah, we want Ricky to be involved in this. No, you don't. He's been on the shelf for the past 7 months. What do you mean? Richard thinks that Triple H is doing a better job of letting talent go instead of hoarding them. He let Bobby and Ricochet go when they both had injury time. Yes. And he didn't care that he knew they were going to go to the rival company. I mean, I think at this point, Ricochet had been around for so long. He was part of the Black and Gold era in NXT, so he had a relationship with Triple H, obviously. And Bobby is 50-something years old. If he wants to leave, fine. You know what I mean? Like,
it's better. Bobby Lashley belongs in AEW right now. I hate to break it to you guys, but Bobby Lashley fits in AEW with the Hurt Syndicate.
Oh yeah. This is another one. This is Richard's Lemon. That people are saying that they hope that the tag titles are stripped from Bianca because of Jade's injury. I know that's a rumor right now that they're going to be forced to strip them, and I hate that because I swear to God, these tag titles are cursed.
They are cursed.
It really is.
It's actually crazy, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Like how every ring has an injury in it.
Mr. Anderson,
I saw that. That's fucking funny. That's so funny. I
just want to. Yeah. Okay, what? You would rather Naomi be the one who betrayed Jade and attacked her with Lash and Jakara? I love that idea far more than what Mr. Anderson is saying and is going to be with Charlotte. I still think it could be Charlotte, and I hate that. But
I think it's Bianca. I think the answer's right in front of us.
I don't know, though, because that also then could strip her of the tag title, which doesn't make any sense either.
Maybe she doesn't care.
I don't know. It also would be crazy to think of Bianca being a heel. So, but anyway. Should we get to predictions now?
Yes. Let's get to predictions because it's only us in the car this week. It's Wednesday. It's Thanksgiving. So yeah, we're on the road trip to Thanksgiving, not the shows. They already took their time off
Mm-hmm.
in preparation for Survivor Series this Saturday in Vancouver,
Mm-hmm.
correct?
I believe so.
Nice. It's definitely in Canada. We know that obviously from the logo, whatever. And it's time for us to predict the show, which last week, Sarah, I was 5 for 7, or I only got 2 wrong on Full Gear. I got stat wrong. I thought you would win. And then no, I have it in the messages here. I'm going to find
I
this
don't even remember
before.
what I picked, but I think I
Um
don't remember.
I have it. Where are you? Um no. Oh, I got it right here. Okay. Oh, I had Hangman winning and Jay White won. And then I said Chris Statlander would win, and
Mm.
she didn't. Mercedes Moné did. So hopefully we can rectify that and get a perfect score
Yeah.
with our predictions here as we start off
Oh
with
my God.
Damian Priest and Gunther,
Can I just
the
take
ring
a side note
general.
for a second?
Yeah, you were low-key pissed on Monday, huh?
Yeah, I'm really mad.
Yeah.
Um.
What's going on?
Also, Raw was in my city on Monday. I am so there's a number of reasons why I'm glad that I wasn't there, but I am so glad I didn't have to see this bullshit in person because I was so heated. Because this is the thing. Why?
Why?
Why are we making Gunther look like this? Because to me, he doesn't need this character arc. He doesn't need this plateau or valley in his reign. It's not necessary. It's just not. Um, I understand the angle of like, oh, okay, he lost to Cody. So maybe he's gonna be like, oh wait, like did I lose my mojo? Like what happened? What is going on with me? But the way that he lost, he immediately like shook Cody's hands. That's how he left. So it was like a respectful, like congratulations type of thing. It wasn't like he freaked out. But why not, instead of making him look like a weak mother effer, why not have him like go on a rampage to prove like, okay, this loss was just a blip in my story. Like that wasn't who I am. I'm still that dude. You know what I mean? Instead of
I'm still
being like
him.
having him walk around with like, ooh, and like walking away from Damien and getting a friggin' razor's edge. And what the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? I'm so confused by it. I hate it. It wouldn't matter if it was Damian Priest, if it was somebody else. I don't get it. I don't think there's any point to this. There's definitely
I don't know.
ways to make it look like whoever he's against has a chance to win the title. I don't think you need to go that far. That's just me.
Okay.
I hate it.
Who are you predicting to win?
It has to be Gunther. I will not accept anything else. So,
Who you got?
oh my god, actually, I might pick. No, can you imagine if I just said all that and then I was like, Damian?
Oh, you just ranted all about that. We're like, I think Damian Priest has a
Yeah.
chance.
No.
No, I got Gunther too. I'm not as passionate as you are about this. It just is the only thing that makes sense right now, that they're having Gunther go through this questioning phase. They're like this questioning of if he is really the ring general, if he can live up to being, the king of the ring and world heavyweight champion, and if this loss to Cody is just a fluke or if he really is losing a step. Damian Priest is the perfect person to unleash hell on, because he's out riding a high. He's getting up there with fans. They see how, he can take out the enemy and better, whatever. Now you need to beat him down. Now you need to beat him down to get the fans to really rally behind him and
I just
hate
want
Gunther.
Gunther to be like Drago. That's all.
Well,
I just want him to be like Drago.
he's trying. Okay, he kind of is already.
No, Drago never looked like this. He never looked like a dog with a tail between his legs. Okay. This motherfucker killed my favorite character in the Rocky movies. Okay. That's what I'm. If he dies, he dies. That's what I want. That's what I want from Gunther. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I
unhinged main event Fro agrees with me, so that's what matters. You know.
yeah. I don't have anything to like. It needs to happen if it's going
Okay.
there. If it's not, we're gonna have issues.
No, that's when I'm gonna call. I'm gonna pull a Dave Portnoy and say that we need an emergency live stream.
I think you should do that. If you, I really believe that you should start doing that too.
Okay.
Just like I can't do this. Like,
Yeah.
just fucking let it out.
If I could go live on TikTok, I would, but we're not at 1,000 followers, so I can't. But
we're gonna get there. Help us get 1,000, so Sara can do this, and then I can do things, and then we have a
then I could
bigger
do
platform.
An emergency press conference, you know. But anyway,
we have a new match on the banner. You can see right here. It is Ludwig Kaiser and Sheamus taking on Braun Breaker in a triple threat match for the Intercontinental Championship. I got Breaker. Braun Breaker is going to. It's going to be a banger of a match. Obviously, you know, everyone's going to get their shine, their spot. But at the end of the day, we need to see Braun Breaker come out of this on top. Like, we just need to be hit. We needs to be standing tall to show that he is like he needs. This is the start of a healthy reign and not a hot potato, just so we can get Jey Uso the title.
Yes, that's why I was gonna say it's like the only thing that makes sense in my mind is that Braun retains because he just got the title back. You'd be doing more harm than good by having him lose, and that is saying a lot for me when we have Ludwig in the match. You know, I don't think Sheamus will win the Intercontinental Championship. Right now, I think that's something that a lot of fans have built up and want to see at Mania or something. So this is a good way to kind of have that be like the foundation that they can come back to. And this would be good for Kaiser. Like, it would be great if they could have that solo feud because that does help Kaiser grow. Sheamus doesn't need that. So I have Braun too.
Do you think we'll see whoever doesn't get pinned be Braun's like next feud of sorts? Because they can claim, oh, you didn't pin me, and I didn't beat, I did not lose that match, and build that up a bit. I mean,
that feels like it would be Sheamus.
No, I feel like it'd be Ludwig.
Sheamus gets pinned, is what I mean.
Yeah, Sheamus gets pinned, and then Ludwig would.
It could be something like, Kaiser does something to take Sheamus out, and then as he goes for the pin, Braun does something to get Kaiser out,
hits him with
and
a spear.
He pins Sheamus. Yeah, and so that's how he gets the win, and then Kaiser's pissed. That's an easy thing to do. And then again, it's like this is something that like Sheamus can come back to and be like, hey, actually, no, you didn't beat me. You took advantage of a, Kaiser doing something. That's how you retained or something like that.
So we both got Breaker. I'm gonna save the War Games. I'll save that. This was added today. I don't know if you saw that, but it was added to the card. LA Knight defending the United States Championship against newly returning Shinsuke Nakamura.
I think LA Knight retains right now. I really wouldn't be surprised if we do see Nakamura win at some point, because this is going to be a feud that's not going to just be a one and done. This is going to be going on, I think this is a feud because it's for a mid-card title. Doesn't matter that, the pay-per-view after this basically is the Royal Rumble. This is something like the US title can be defended on SmackDown, and it's not a big deal. I just think LA Knight retains right now. Maybe Shinsuke wins at some point. Maybe the rematch is at the Royal Rumble. Yeah,
I see that. Yeah, I don't see LA Knight losing right now because it just started, but I do see this feud
champion for over 100 days.
No, this feud just started. I'm saying.
Oh, God, I thought you meant his reign just started.
No,
but yeah.
like this just got cooking, and we are still. This is not a feud you just have for a one-off. There's a lot to unpack here, and with how dark and twisted Nakamura can be, it shows shades to me as like Rock Undertaker back in the day. That type of feud. Talking about history repeating itself. So I would like to see LA Knight retain and then Nakamura maybe dethrone him at the Royal Rumble. So then it gives more of a legitimacy that LA Knight could win the Royal Rumble.
I know. I love it when somebody is in a match at the Royal Rumble and then they enter themselves into the Rumble. I don't know
'Cause they
why, but
lost?
I'd love that. Yes. Like,
Yeah.
didn't Gunther do that?
No, Kurt Angle did it years
I
ago.
swear that Gunther did
Years
that.
ago, Kurt Angle did
But
it,
anyway,
and that
yeah.
started the HBK feud.
Yeah, I love that.
It went to
So
fucking
badass.
work.
Mhm.
And then HBK just super kicked him over the rope, and that started it started one of the best rivalries of that era. LA Knight. Oh, Jackson says he thinks LA Knight Shinsuke will end screwy finish.
It's possible. I could see it ending like Shinsuke gets it disqualified basically because maybe he won't stop beating him up or something. You know, he doesn't do a rope break, you know, something
Yeah.
like that. And I'm sure he doesn't care because he'll be like, I'll get a rematch. Like it's whatever. I don't care.
I get
you know?
my rematch.
I think if they want to make him look again like the way that they were having him with the Cody feud was making him like a psychological menace, which I think that can still work. But I think if he wants to look like a physical problem, then that is a good way to go about it, you know, because the psychology thing works, but I don't think that it necessarily needs to be everything that he does from now on is like how he does it. Oh,
Missed.
yeah.
Yeah,
Is
that's
that
where I'm
banned?
going.
Have they
I
banned
mean,
that?
I mean, we saw Pile Driver a week
I
ago.
know.
So,
Well, but remember there was that time where they were saying like Asuka couldn't use it and like Shinsuke couldn't use it. So I don't know if they banned it, but that would suck. I want to see that because I love Shinsuke. I think Shinsuke is so underrated in WWE.
So underrated. He's
They
so
don't.
underrated.
People do not appreciate like
They
they don't
don't.
understand. This is the thing that goes back to like NXT Black and Gold. Like people didn't understand how big of a deal it was when they got Ricochet. People don't understand how big it was when they got Finn Balor. People don't get how big of a deal it was when they got Shinsuke Nakamura. Like that was, if you weren't on like wrestling Twitter, wrestling social media or something, like that shit was crazy. And I think because Shinsuke's career has really on the main roster has been a roller coaster, people forget like just how respected and legendary he is, especially in Japanese wrestling. So yeah, I'm excited that he's back.
He fought under the Great Muta. Like, you know what I mean?
No,
Like, it's just like legendary career in New Japan.
Yeah.
Star. He was like, there are names that are in AEW that have bigger names like an Okada that have wrestled alongside Nakamura. I can't think of the specifics off the top of my head, but yeah, like go look up Nakamura in New Japan. It's wild.
Yeah.
Wild will this will be women's war games match. We have Rhea Ripley. Yeah. Oh shit. Why get my blanking?
Rhea Ripley, Bianca Belair, Bailey, Io Sky, and who's the last one?
It was Jade.
No, it's Bailey. So who's the last one? Naomi versus Liv Morgan, Nia Jax, Raquel Rodriguez, Candice LeRae, and Tiffany Stratton. I don't know why I keep forgetting Tiffany, but yes. I think on the surface, when you look at this, you're like, one team is a super team, so they're winning. No, they cannot win. They cannot win. It has to be Team Liv. It has to be Team Liv. Like there's nothing else that I will accept, honestly, because we've gone to a point where I've said it multiple times that I feel like they're really trying to screw with Liv's title reign, and I just don't think that's fair. And so I think if they have her team lose, this is really messing with her title reign even more. And let's not forget, guys, WWE released who the top merch sellers were in 2024, and guess who was the number one woman? Liv Morgan. So if people are saying, oh, people hate her, no one cares about her, her reign isn't serious, she's this or that, girl, bye.
You sit on a throne of lies if you think that. Liar.
She sold more than Rhea. So, because Rhea was the other woman, but she still was higher on the list than Rhea. So she has to retain it. She has to. We're going to get to the point where, you know, Rhea is going to start to look like she's going to get it and whatever, probably leading to Mania. This is what's going to happen. It's probably going to be Liv versus Rhea at Mania. I know a lot of people don't want it, but
no, now it makes sense because of the way they went about it.
Well,
Now
yeah,
it
the way
makes
they
sense.
screwed it over by having her return with a mask and stuff. Like, come on, guys.
I just don't think she should have returned. I think you could have had someone else
No,
for the War Games match, to be honest with you. But
I
that's
know.
why I'm not.
That's the
That's why I
thing is
don't like
like
the book.
have you seen people starting I know people say this about everybody, but Rhea's starting to get Rhea Hogan's. Have you seen that?
I've seen the Rhea Hogan. I've
Yeah,
seen it.
people
I
are
don't
saying it because
agree with it, but
I don't agree with it either
I
necessarily,
don't.
but I would say I understand it just from the recent return. You know, it was like they beat her down in the parking lot. They said they broke a bone in her face, and then she returns 2 weeks later.
Yeah,
Like that's a
also
Hogan thing.
Brian Danielson wrestled with a fractured orbital bone. He did, so
Yeah, well, so
he
did
can do it.
Undertaker. It happened in a match with the Undertaker.
And then he faced himself.
Yeah. So,
Crazy.
do you think it should be? Who do you think is gonna win?
I'm on Team Liv side.
Okay,
I
good.
don't see the the heroes winning in this, because to me this feels like a very heel card that the
The
villains are going to
heels.
win. Yeah, the villains win with this, just with how the stories are going and with them doing it the right way. And it seems like they're doing that more in this era.
I
You
hope
need
so.
to build them up with wins. So,
Well, and that's the thing is like we already said, like LA Knight winning, that's good.
that's
Um,
fine.
who else have we picked? Did we pick baby faces for the other ones?
Oh
Oh
I
no,
mean,
Gunther
we
winning.
picked the tweener. We picked the tweener and
Yeah, and
Braun
Braun Breaker.
Breaker.
Yeah, and see, and I think when it comes to the War Games, like, because we can talk about the men's if you want right now.
Oh, I'll just hit it.
Okay,
Yeah, it's time
I
to talk
think
about the men.
I think Bloodline 2.0 needs to win.
100%.
So
100%.
that worries me a little bit just because it's the two heel teams that I feel like need to win. And then that means that most of the people on the card winning would be heels. But I need Triple H to not care. I need you to not care about sending people home happy based on the main event. I have left plenty of Raws, SmackDowns, SummerSlams, whatever I was at, over the limits, disappointed as fuck.
Over the limits. You're disappointed
bro,
because you are leaving over the limit. All right.
I was at over the limit with my peep section sign. Okay.
Wow. Like,
I know.
people can't talk shit about your fandom. They really
No.
can't. I'm sorry. You
No.
can't. If you're over the limit with a peep sign,
Yeah.
get the
And we
fuck
got on
outta here.
TV. I know. So it's fine to leave disappointed because your favorites didn't win. I think we need to get past that, and I think for the most part Triple H has done that, but there are a couple where the main event just is like, no, bro, no. It doesn't matter if people go home and they're sad because so and so lost. It doesn't matter. That's the point of the fact, that's the whole thing with wrestling. There are bad guys and there are good guys. You're not supposed to go home happy every single time because John Cena won or whoever, Cody Rhodes won. No, I don't. If they lose, they lose.
That's how it goes.
That's just how it is. That's life and that's wrestling. So I
Gotta
want
follow
to
the
see.
story.
I want to see Team Liv win, and then I want to see Bloodline 2.0 win. And I think that Bloodline 2.0 needs it. They need it.
How do you think Bloodline 2.0 win? How do you think they win?
This one's tricky because there are so many different things that they can do in this match because of who's involved. Because it's not just the Samoans and the Tongans anymore. There's CM Punk in there. We now have Paul Heyman involved. We have The Rock lurking, in the wings.
Oh, he's gonna be there.
He has to. This is one of those moments where I actually want him to be there. And when he showed up at SummerSlam or whatever he was at, I was like, fuck The Rock. Why are you here? You're an idiot. I don't like him. So it's hard for me to be like, he needs to be there because I can't stand him. But because this is the last pay-per-view before we're really like officially at Mania season,
WrestleMania,
he needs to be there. So I could see his appearance potentially being what gets them the win.
That's where my mind goes, is that he comes out and does something where, as I mentioned on previous episodes, he doesn't get in the match and take bumps and whatnot, but he gets inside the structure and takes similar to the weight belt, maybe like a bat or something, and just starts beating everyone down I see something like that. I also see something like a Paul Heyman turn. I know I'm gonna throw it out in the ether.
Punk.
That's what I'm saying. Paul Heyman.
Punk has no loyalty to anybody.
No loyalty.
But
No loyalty at all.
But Paul. What would be kind of cool is if The Rock gets into the ring and he squares up to Punk and Punk dips. And he's like, you know what? Do what you got to do, brother. It ain't gonna. You ain't touching me. But then there was that scenario that I talked about also about Bronson Reed. He's another random person in this match that has.
But he's Samoan.
I get it, but I'm saying like he is somebody that I said maybe he doesn't get to the match. Maybe that's how The Rock presents himself.
I really think they're gonna take Bronson Reed out of the match because of like
I don't.
Outside.
This is what I would say.
Really?
Something happens to Bronson. Bronson doesn't show up. They don't have a fifth man. That's when the OG bloodline gets cocky because they're like, ha ha ha, you couldn't even get your other dude, but we have our 5. CM Punk showed up. Look at us. The Rock's music hits, distracts them. They come out, whatever, and that's what leads to the Bloodline 2.0 somehow getting a win. I'm just saying if that's a scenario that could happen, it's going to be Bronson Reed. That's the scapegoat.
Oh yeah, it's not. Well, wait. Yeah, because then Tongaloa would be still. Like I can see Tongaloa getting hurt or something.
No, but see, Bronson has no connection to the bloodline, so that's what I'm saying. Like if somebody's gonna do something on the OG bloodline, it's Punk. If it's gonna be somebody on the bloodline 2.0, it's gonna be Bronson. Like so whatever happens. It can't be
someone in the bloodline who doesn't share blood. Okay.
No, they've already drawn their loyalties to each other, so I don't think they're gonna try and screw that up because we think that it's gonna be Roman versus Rock or something eventually. So. Yeah. They need to draw that line in the sand of OG bloodlines on one side, bloodline 2.0s on the other side. Like there's a clear divide between them.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, the other two that are in the match, it doesn't matter to them. Like they're just there. Like they don't care really.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So,
talking about war games anyways. Let's just enter this now. Let's just do this now since we're talking about our War Games teams. I have mine written out, Sarah. I got in here a little early and this thought came to me. So I'll start with my men's team first.
Okay, so it'd be so are we picking 5 men and then 5 women? Like we're not on the team.
No, we're in
Okay,
it.
So we're picking 4 and 4.
4 and 4.
Okay.
You're my I'll put because I can't fight with women.
Okay, so you're on my men's team and I'm on your women's team.
Yeah, so like my 5th is Sara Marshall. Like
stuff like that. Okay.
So like we'll do that, but like 4 women, 4 men. So my 4 men. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think this one's obvious. Kevin Owens.
Okay.
Definitely on my team.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with either Mankind or Cactus Jack. Whoever.
Oh, it can be anybody.
Up. Oh, I'm going fucking yeah.
Okay.
I'm taking inspiration from the WWE social thing, and I saw Rey Mysterio saying he wants Andre the Giant. So like,
yeah.
That's smart as hell. But no, I'm saying Mankind or Cactus Jack because whoever comes to the arena that day,
whatever totally personality.
Yeah, like they're equally as destructive in different ways. So I'm going with whoever you want to show up. Whatever personality wants to appear, I'm for it.
Okay.
And then I'm going with a wild card in this one. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Sabu.
All right.
I want to be protected and safe in that structure. Okay. And if that means that I have to stand behind a man wielding chairs and barbed wire so that I can feel safe and kick ass, then yeah, I'm picking Sabu. All right, he's the homicidal, suicidal, genocidal. I forget the last one of that phrase, but anyways, and then my 4th and final is the phenomenal one, AJ Styles.
Okay. All right, so I'm gonna have Pat on my team.
Champ of the peeps, let's go.
I didn't have time to think about this, so I'm thinking about it in real time.
That's fine.
Drew McIntyre.
All right, Drew.
We just saw the destruction on CM Punk that he did in a Hell in a Cell. I want that brother in my War Games match. I think, you know, I think I want Stone Cold Steve Austin
Okay.
because he can just kick ass. You
Yeah, he'll
know,
do anything.
he doesn't need to be flying around doing crazy stuff. You know,
Exactly.
we can have an ass kicker. But if we want somebody, I guess if we're gonna go, yeah, old school, want somebody flying around, give me Jeff Hardy.
Yes.
Give me Jeff Hardy. Okay, doing something crazy in this match because why not? Dude doesn't get hurt either. Like, I don't know how this motherfucker has had one injury in his entire career. I don't get it. And you know what? Just for like nostalgia's sake, John Cena.
I almost put John Cena. I
Yeah.
almost did. I almost put him over Sabu.
Mm.
But I went destruction with that.
And I mean, if I could, I was gonna say Razor, but I guess it would say it's Cena or Razor. You know, I was just trying to. I was stuck.
You want to
stuck.
protect him. You don't want him to go
Yeah.
through that structure. I'm with you. I
No.
don't need to do that.
No, he's in the back with me, bro. Stop it. Okay, I'm busy being a rat.
That was okay.
Sorry about it.
All right. So, do you want to give your woman, or I'll go?
You go first because I didn't
Oh, you
know
have to
about
think.
this.
Yeah, yeah. All right. So I got the bad gal herself,
Mm-hmm.
and then Io Sky,
Mm-hmm.
been in the most women's War Games matches. Chelsea Green. All right. If there is someone who knows how to find a way to win, it's Chelsea Green. And we've seen how extreme she can go when she was on the Indies and Lucha Underground, TNA, or Impact, I think it was at the time, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in on her. Rhea Ripley, because obvious reasons.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's obvious. And then my wild card for this one, Jordan Grace. I would love to see Jordan Grace in a War Games match. That would be electric.
I'm gonna have Io on mine as well because of
All right.
experience, because she can fly high. And then of course there's me. And then I'm gonna say Trish Stratus because girl, she's my queen. So we also saw how good she was at a Hell in a Cell with Becky Lynch. And she's my other one, Becky Lynch. Becky and Trish are gonna have to be on the same team. But my fifth, I will one up your Rhea and Jordan, and I'll say China, bitch. Give me China. Okay.
Right, I like it. I like it.
Yep.
I like it a lot.
Um,
We have a lot of comments.
I mean, sometimes I'm just being a rat. It's what it is, you know.
Sponsored
In
by
another
OnlyFans.
life, I was a rat in the 90s.
In a past life.
Yeah, in
you were.
another life.
All right, let's
Well,
go.
I mean, the 90s were like the mecca of rats, so that's why it's like, unfortunately, I was alive as myself in the 90s, so maybe in a different dimension.
Maybe. AEW Full Gear was last Saturday. It was actually, I thought it was a fantastic show. Top to bottom, yeah, there were a few things that I disagree with, but overall, I thought it was a solid show. And the main event was what it should have been, and it gave us wanting more with the car crash at the end. Darby Allin plowing into the Death Riders truck that they brought to the arena, and then they had to go steal another car because obviously it's wrestling. But the whole show itself was really good. Orange Cassidy Mox was great. Thought Kyle Fletcher Ospreay stole the show. Sarah, I even told you to go watch that because that was fantastic. The tag match to start the show was really good, and they teased even more a breakup of the Acclaimed.
Can I ask one question?
Yeah.
Okay, well, other than free Anthony. Okay, I've been saying this for how long now? It's been a while. Because we don't stand Caster. But anyway,
best wrestler alive.
Yeah, okay.
That's what he calls himself.
Yeah, I know. It's a joke.
Okay.
But do you feel like they're PE? Okay, well, I guess I could say PPVs because they're not a PLE. Do you think that they're too long? I mean, this one was almost like or around 5 hours. That to me
Yeah, it
is
was
like
5 hours. It
we
was.
complain about WWE's being 5 matches, 6 matches max, and it's like, okay, and sometimes yes, they should have another match on the card or they could have taken one out and put a different one on. But I think for the
Mhm.
most part we've kind of embraced this Triple H model with PLEs because it feels
Yeah.
like they found that perfect medium. I
Mhm.
feel like AEW just they pack the shit out of their pay-per-views and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, like I don't
Yeah.
watch, but I see people tweeting about it and I'm like, this shit is still on."
Yeah, it's crazy. I see what you're saying, and as someone, I mean, I sat through the what was it, 12-hour festival that was WrestleMania
Yeah.
35 or whatever it
Yeah.
was in New York.
Yeah.
Um, but with AEW's pay-per-view structure, I don't mind it honestly. It's a different wrestling fan. It is a different wrestling fan that they're catering to, where they're packing these matches and it somewhat makes sense and sometimes and somewhat doesn't. I will give him credit that the pre-show does have matches on it, and
Mhm.
it is for, like Deonna Purrazzo and a Jay. That match is not going to get on the card, but they're two people that deserve to be on a pay-per-view show.
Mhm.
Um, you know, I just looked at, I had it up, was looking at the card from Full Gear, and this was one where he didn't. I mean, I've seen shows where it's more, and
So
this one
did
felt like it was the right amount. But
like the like all of those matches needed to be at a pay-per-view.
let's put it this way. I have it up right here because I'm in our inbox right now. Yeah, I have it right here. All right. So Will Ospreay Fletcher, yes. Jay White Hangman, honestly, yes. They're two of your stars that don't have titles. Like, you need to have them on the show. MJF Roderick Strong, that's been building. Yes, they have to have that on. The Mina Shikawa, Mariah May Champagne Celebration, like, no. But
Yeah.
that's a great example of having that on the show to break up the wrestling so that, the person who may be
But it could have
wanting to watch every minute of the wrestling, they can get up and go get a snack
but
or the
see, that
bathroom
could be a
or
video that could have been like a
it
pre-made
could have been.
segment.
It absolutely
WrestleMania.
it could have been a pre-show segment for all we fucking care. Um, Let me get the other one. Like, oh, Ricochet to Keshta. That should have been a match because that was for a title.
I heard it wasn't
Jack
that
Perry. It was okay. It was
Yeah,
okay.
I didn't hear
I
good
hate to
things
say
about
it,
it.
but it was. I mean, yeah, it was okay. Swerve and Lashley, yes. The tag team 4-way, yes. Like all these matches, like yeah, I've seen way worse cards than that
Mm,
before, and we didn't have Jericho on it.
thank
So
God.
I mean, I can't complain. I really can't
He's
complain.
been
I thought it was a
getting
very
ready
good
for the
show.
anniversary of January 6th, probably.
Probably, Sarah. Let's talk about this. The top wrestlers under the age of 30 was announced,
Guess who's number one?
and number one is
Daddy
Latino
Dom.
Latino cheat himself, Dominic Mysterio. I'll run through the top 10 right now. Dominic at 1, MJF at 2, Tony Storm at 3, Rhea Ripley at 4, Mariah May at 5, Kanoshka Takeshita at 6, Jack Perry at 7, Kyle Fletcher 8, Daniel Garcia at 9, and Shota Umino at 10. Braun Breaker just missed the cusp at 11.
I was kind of surprised at how little WWE talent was in the top 10.
Yes,
But I
I liked it though.
yeah,
I
I
think it's
think Dominic deserves to be at the top, you know.
absolutely is yes,
Um
100%.
I think it might be kind of controversial for some people simply because he was like above MJF, but I don't think
No,
there's
he
as
deserves to
much
be.
hype around MJF recently as there has been like with Dominic, you know. So I think it was fair and it's like Dominic I think that people need to we've talked about it to reflect on where Dominic started and where he's at now. It's like night and day.
It's
So
unbelievable.
it really is. I mean, he was a clean cut, like normal looking baby faced dude when he was, running around with
Yeah,
his dad and whatever. And now it's like he looks like such a slime ball and he doesn't have to do anything to get heat, and he's so much better in the ring. So I think, yeah, he definitely deserved it. And it's a pretty cool award. I mean, I know it's not like anything,
An award, but it's a
yeah,
recognition.
but
Absolutely.
it definitely shows you he's making an impact in professional wrestling that goes beyond the walls of WWE. So
Yeah, it is really nice. And, for Daniel Garcia to be in there, Kyle Fletcher, Jack Perry, Mariah May being at 5,
that's
that's
crazy.
big.
That's
It's
huge for
crazy.
her, for how like young she is in her career too.
That's what I'm saying. Like, people don't
Yeah.
understand, like, oh, she was just the puppet to Tony Storm and the whole, it's like, no,
She was wrestling in Japan.
she was crushing it in Stardom. Like,
Yeah.
she knows ball and is proving why she is number 5 with this women's title reign. Like, let this go on for a year or so. Like, give her a lengthy reign because she's fucking crushing it as champion. So, yeah, shout out to those people. Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens was announced for Saturday night's main event, not Survivor Series. I initially was PO'd. I would have liked to see this on Survivor Series, but you got to think dollars and cents, and you have to give Saturday night's main event a stellar main event if you want it to be something, you do moving forward. And what a way to kick this off with, I would say, other than the bloodline shit, the hottest feud in WWE.
Well, I think that we kind of talked about it, where the feud for Kevin just shifted to Cody. Like, yeah, it kind of happened at Bad Blood, right, in the parking lot. But there wasn't a whole lot that had been done since then, because Cody was so involved with other things that we were seeing more between Kevin and Randy. So we just had them come face to face and like go at each other's throats this last SmackDown. So it feels like there's not enough there for them to just be like, okay, this is a match at Survivor Series now. But I think Saturday night main event makes sense because it's only a few weeks away. So it's not a lot of time that they need to fill, but they'll be able to pack it to get people to like super hate Kevin and be really, even more into cheering for Cody. So I think it's fine. And somebody mentioned this to us too a while ago, that Cody's schedule didn't have Survivor Series on it. So it's like we kind of knew, but we were in denial about it.
We were.
I was, especially because I wanted him to be the 5th man.
We did want him to be the 5th man, but it makes more sense now, and I like CM Punk as the 5th man choice. Eric Bischoff's coming to NXT, Sarah.
I know.
How crazy is that?
I was shocked when I saw that, but I'm loving it. I think Bischoff in WWE is just gold, no matter what it is, because it is such, like, for me, it's nostalgic. Because I remember how big of a deal it was when he first came to WWE, because he was the arch enemy for so long. I mean, like, this dude was trying to shut literally
the super villain.
Yeah, he was trying to shut the company down. And then when obviously WCW fell apart, he didn't have to jump ship and come to his enemy, but he did, and he had a iconic career in WWE as well, because he kind of reminds me of like, well, or whatever you want to say, he reminds me of like a Dominic Mysterio, where it's like he doesn't have to do anything. You see him, you see his face, and you get mad, especially back then. It was like that smile and the hair and the dimples. Yeah, it was just like,
the dimples. Yes,
I hate you, dude. I hate everything about you. So it's kind of cool to see he's still involved. He's still respected. Obviously, he has a podcast that a lot of people listen to, and now he's going to be getting involved in NXT. I love it.
MLW is trying to get him to be involved there too.
I'm sure. I mean, it depends on what he's trying to do, because I know he kind of like lives in the middle of nowhere, like just like chilling with his wife.
He's living it right now.
So it'll be interesting to see what he wants to do, but I think it's cool, and I'm interested to see like how deep this goes, like how long is he going to be around, how involved is he going to be, that kind of thing. Especially with Sean in charge of things.
Yeah, running it.
Yeah, because it's like, ooh, interesting.
New Day celebrates 10 years on Monday. I'm only having this as a banner, just as a forewarning that I have been saying this for I
Mhm.
don't know how many weeks now. It feels like 83 weeks with Pat Pitts that we've been saying this. That
Well, go
the
ahead.
breakup is inevitable on Monday, and that Xavier Woods is going to turn at the celebration of New Day. It has been announced that Big E will be there in some capacity.
According to who?
I saw something to do with like Russell Votes.
Okay, I don't know yet. I've seen people say that they're not sure yet. So we're not
Okay. All
positive.
right. So
Not
we're not
100%.
positive. We're not up. It's on me. But
I
I
think
saw
he
something.
has to be there to be some sort of mediator. I feel
Oh
like.
yeah. No, he
But
needs to be a mediating role
I
there.
need to get your thoughts on that segment on Raw because people
Oh my
were
God.
losing their minds.
Oh
over
my
it.
God. That was you want to talk about the climax of a movie or any sort of story? Like that was a breaking point climax. Like they were at each other's throats and the things that they were saying, just really digging deep.
Mhm.
Xavier Woods brought up the Brock Lesnar loss. No one
I
has brought that up since it's happened.
They
And then
haven't
the
said
one dude to
Brock's
do it,
name.
they don't say it at all. And now the first time it's being brought up is from basically his brother Kofi in the New Day. Xavier, his brother Xavier in the New Day. Like it's insane.
I like that they went that far because
You
I
have
think
to.
that if there is going to be the inevitable turn next week, then they needed to lay the groundwork for that to happen and for it to
Mhm.
not be like they did all of that next week, like during the anniversary thing. You know what I mean? Because I
Mhm.
feel like you needed people to hear what they were saying and kind of let it sit with them to then already have an iffy feeling about either of them, because I think they did a pretty good job at not really letting us know who was going to be the one to turn on the other, because they
Mhm.
both said harsh things to the
Very
other.
harsh.
So even though
Couldn't
it
keep up.
seems obvious that it's going to be Xavier Woods, they really could swerve us and have it be Kofi, because he cut deep too. He wasn't holding back, you
He
know?
wasn't. They did tease with the Dragon Ball Z though.
Yes, he
Gear
did.
though.
I
That
love
is
when they do
darker.
stuff like that.
It's the best. It's the fucking best.
Yeah, like those are things that I don't know because I didn't watch Dragon Ball Z. Like that's not something that I
I
know, but
didn't either.
thank God for
I
the
didn't.
internet, you know?
Oh,
And the Triple H
wrestling.
era, we've said that, like the things in the background, like you see people talking or you see an item in the back, like that kind of
Yeah.
stuff. I love that they're doing more because it does require you to pay attention. Because imagine how many people maybe decided, okay, after that match, they just wanted to go to the bathroom or get food, and then you just missed this entire segment between
Yeah.
Kofi and Xavier, and then you're like kicking yourself because you just missed what some people are saying is one of the better moments of the
It
entire year.
was.
So
Oh yeah, it was.
should be
Easily.
good, the celebration or the reunion, as Kofi said, which he might have slipped. But I assume Big E is going to be there in some sort of mediation
Yeah.
role. It only makes
Yeah,
sense. You kind of have to. Come on. If you really want people to celebrate, they're not excited to see Kofi and Xavier at this point. So,
no, they want to see Big A. You want to
yeah.
see Big A.
Yes.
You put these last couple of banners in here, so I'm gonna
I
let you
did.
take the wheel here because I have whatever I want to talk about.
So Roman Reigns did an interview, and the thing that I hate and I love about Roman Reigns doing interviews is that he's always in character.
He is the tribal chief.
Yeah, he's never Joe. He's always Roman. So I love it and I hate it at the same time, because sometimes I actually want to know what you're thinking. Like I actually want to know what the person behind the character is thinking, and we like never hear that from Roman. So like I just kind of wish that we got that a bit more. But we haven't really heard anything about what he thought or had to say about all of the drama leading up to WrestleMania 40. And what I thought was interesting is like he basically said that he didn't care because he knew he was going to be in the main event anyway, because he is the main event. And he basically felt like the hot chick. Like everyone just wants to get with him.
Yeah, he did.
So
He was the hot chick.
I guess to an extent it's fair, because out of all the scenarios, it was like, all right, well, Roman's involved somehow, right? It's like, no, Cody wanted the match, no, Rock wanted the match, no, this one,
Guys, stop fighting on
I
me,
know.
please.
So It's interesting to hear him say this, but like I said, I kind of wish that we got a little bit more from him.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Yeah, I just wish that we could have. I mean, maybe I would assume even in the documentary, he's not really saying much.
He didn't really talk. It wasn't anything deep what he said about it, but
I just kind of want to know more because we heard so much from The Rock and his BS, and we heard what Cody had to say about it. So I would be interested to hear Roman's side. Like, it's possible that he really did not give a single F because it's like, all right, well, at the end of the day, I was going to be in the main event anyway, so I don't care who it was or who I was facing. I was going to be there anyway.
Yeah.
But just because it was such a chaotic time and it was so dramatic with, The Rock wanting it and then Cody and all of this stuff and then the pivot, it's like I would be really intrigued to hear, like, did he have a preference? Like, even if he didn't care because he was going to be in the main event anyway, did you have a preference? Did you want to face Rock this year? Did you want to do the Cody rematch? Like, what? But I don't know if we'll ever know that.
I don't think we ever will, Sarah, unfortunately.
I don't think we're going to get ever real answers from him.
Maybe we will.
Maybe, but I don't know. I feel like he could be somebody that like holds on to kayfabe forever.
Maybe. So why does the tag division on Raw need help, Sarah?
You know why? Because I'm tired of all of the people complaining about Judgment Day retaining. I am tired of the hate towards Judgment Day. Okay. And this is why. Okay. So I get it. That was only their second television title defense. That also doesn't mean this is only the second time they've defended the titles. It's not true, but that's okay because there are shows like if we're going to talk about how many times Cody Rhodes has defended the title, I couldn't even tell you how many times because basically every live event he's defending the title. So it's like 4 times a week he's defending the title technically.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that the men's tag team division on Raw, we've said it needed help because they weren't doing a lot with the Judgment Day since they became champions. And that is why people get so frustrated when then they're like, okay, they actually are defending the titles tonight. And most people were jumping on the War Raiders bandwagon, wanting them to take the titles off of Judgment Day. But and I understand the frustration because I don't disagree. But as I've said before, what I do get frustrated about is people twisting that into that JD McDonough and Finn Balor are somehow undeserving, untalented, blah, 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 or that they have some sort of control over how many times they defended titles, how many matches that they have. Like, the internet is so smart and yet so stupid. Because
they're smart marks.
Fergie Ferg's not going up to Mr. Triple H and being like, yeah, brother, I'm never defending these titles. I want to have these titles for 150 days and defend them once. Like, that's not happening. So I would like to see it improved so that we can actually get like more invested in these tag team matches because it is like people are like, oh, I keep forgetting that they were the champions. Well, it's like it's a big focus on SmackDown, so why can't we do that on Raw? Actually show some respect to the people who have been holding the titles instead of acting like they're clowns and they can't do anything. Like, stop.
They need
Finn
help.
and JD are so good.
They need help in the Raw division in the tag. Like, I like the War Raiders. Like, I want them to be the ones to inevitably dethrone them. But after that, like, who else do you got? Like, who else?
No,
like,
I know, and that's why
no.
I know they've fallen off a lot.
The Wyatt Six are not a tag team. There's 5 of them. So
yeah, they're not in that right now.
They're not in that. Otis and Tozawa.
No.
You think the New Day are in the right headspace to compete for tag titles? No, they are not.
So this is why I'm saying that it needs help in general, because that's the thing too. As you're saying, yeah, you can complain about the Judgment Day never defending, but who are they not defending against? Who should they drop the titles to? You want them to drop the titles because you're mad that they have the titles and they're not defending them. But then you don't have somebody to take the titles off of them that you would actually care about. And then who are they going to face? So this is the thing is like there definitely needs to be some shifting during the draft. We said that some women from SmackDown need to be on Raw. Some of the men's tag teams on SmackDown needs to be on Raw, because it's not balanced right now. And that is the problems that we're running into with the men's tag team division on Raw, maybe even the women's world championship on Raw. Like it's hard because Liv doesn't have a lot of people that she could defend against. It's an issue.
It is. Then you want to talk about this if you want. I don't really have anything to say about it, so you can go off. I would like to see it at some point, but
I was just what?
No, I didn't. Go.
Oh, I was just gonna say Jey Uso was saying that their WrestleMania match has left like a bad taste in his mouth, so he'd really like another match with Jimmy. And everything that I've been seeing, everyone is saying no, please don't. Please don't give me another thing. We don't want it. And I get it. That match was bad. I don't think that we're ever going to get this again, though. I don't think we're going to see how many times do we need to see Jimmy and Jey turn on each other? You know, like it gets to a point where it's like, you just don't care anymore. Like,
yeah, you just don't.
The initial turning is a huge deal. It's the same thing with the Hardy Boys. Like the initial breakup and turning on each other is like, holy crap. But after that, when it happens again, you don't care because you've already seen it. So, and I don't know that they could really put on a better match anyway. Like they're not individually, they're not fantastic wrestlers. They're not bad, and I don't mean that, but like they do the same shit. So like how good can you be when you have the same moveset?
Yeah, there needs to be more of just, I want to face you, brother. No, I'm better than you, brother. Like there needs to be more substance to it if we want to see it again. I'm with it.
It can't be at a Mania.
No, it's not a Mania anymore.
No,
it's not a Mania anymore. I would agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay. That's all we got for the Wrestleverse, but that's okay because we're not done yet. 1, 2, 3 counts. That's what it is. It's time for the 3 count. And Sarah, we've been talking a lot of wrestling here, but that's not what's on the horizon. It's actually the holiday, Thanksgiving, the start of our own Mania season that we call the Christmas season.
Okay.
Thanksgiving. It's a good way to put it. It's like the Royal Rumble of holidays.
Okay.
So Thanksgiving, I love it. Not only that, but it's the food. It's very traditional, all that. So I thought our 1, 2, 3 count would just be Thanksgiving related, and our 20 questions will be Thanksgiving food items. So Sarah, I have one in mind. You start.
I'm asking you the questions?
You're asking me because I have mine already.
Okay.
So I was going to give you time to.
Is this something you eat at dinner?
No.
Is it a dessert?
Yes.
Is it a pie?
Yes.
Apple pie?
No.
Pecan pie?
Oh,
pumpkin pie.
There it is. Yeah.
Ooh, okay. I have one too.
You don't like pumpkin pie?
No, I do. I love pumpkin.
Okay. There we go. All right, you got one?
Mm-hmm.
All right, is your food a dinner food?
Yes.
Okay, is it a main or side?
A side.
Okay, is it a traditional side or like a personal side? Like controversial side, let me say that, controversial, like not everyone would.
Yeah, it's not like, it definitely depends on where you're from.
Like mac and cheese.
Yeah, so it's like, it's a regional.
So mac and cheese, that's my guess.
Oh, no.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this thing. Yeah, it's something where it's like, okay, you know, like you said, like maybe in the South they eat like mac and cheese as a side, or maybe in Seattle they eat spinach. I don't know, you know. We've talked about it before, so
squash.
No. Squash
We've talked about it before. Stuffing.
No.
Oh man, I'm getting mad now. We've talked about before. Mashed potato? No, is it a potato?
No.
Oh, turnip.
Yeah.
Yes, turnip.
Yummy. So
yummy.
good. We have turnip, but I don't know what color it is. I don't know if it's white or orange.
Week 3. Okay.
So that's why I'm saying it's like a New England thing. Like,
it is a very, very New England.
And it's also because if you don't make it the way that I think you make it with brown sugar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like if you don't Have you tried turnip without the brown sugar? That shit is nasty. It's so bitter.
Really?
Yeah, that's why you put the brown sugar in it. But like when you first tell somebody like, "Oh yeah, we have turnip," and they're like, "What the hell?" You know, it's like they either have never had it or they like have had it, but not the way that you
Mm-hmm.
make it. Because it's like we use cream and like brown sugar. Like if you eat it
Mm-hmm.
like that, then stop. It's so good.
Oh, wait, my mom one year burnt a turnip, and it was the talk of the family for like years.
Oh, jeez,
So
Louise.
it's
Yeah, my
so
mom did
funny.
that once. She put it in like one of the warmers things and she
Mm-hmm.
left it on too long. So like all of it on the
Oh,
bottom got stuck. So it was like we were just trying to
that's
slightly
brutal.
scoop the top because
That's
that's
so,
what was still good.
that's
Yeah,
so
it
funny.
was the turnip, it was the potatoes. Yeah.
Who is the gobbledygooker? Sarah, I was going to look up on a whole do a thing, but we're running out of time and I have to pee.
It's
So
Andre the Giant.
no, it's
I was joking.
yeah, I know, I know what you're saying.
I
Yeah,
forget who it was.
it's funny. I remember it was at the I'm gonna say 93 Survivor Series because it was the same hilariously. It was the same Survivor Series that The Undertaker debuted. And the story goes that when Vince called Undertaker, Taker thought that he was going to ask him to be the gobbledygooker. And Taker
Mm.
would have been obviously pissed.
Mhm.
However, it was not. Taker appeared as who debuted as who he is. The gobbledygooker ended up being Hector Guerrero. Okay. And
Mm.
the gobbledygooker was built up for months. What is in this egg? Who is going to hatch from this egg? And it was the fucking gobbledygooker. No, I'm not going to show you who it is right now. All right, go look it up yourself. It is the most absurd thing that's came about from the Survivor Series pay-per-view. All right, and then 3, what's a tradition you have for Thanksgiving or did when you were a kid to wrap up the show?
I mean, we always went to my grandparents' house. It was like my grandparents were always the ones who like hosted Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like we very rarely had it at our house until we moved out of Massachusetts, and then it was like we didn't have any family.
Yeah, so you're
Um,
doing it yourself.
yeah, so it was always my grandparents in Plymouth. Every holiday was there, you know. Besides like
Mm-hmm.
Easter, we would go for Easter dinner there, but like the Easter egg hunts and stuff like that was at my house. But
Oh, I got
yeah,
you.
it was like my grandparents was like the mecca for the entire family.
Well, it was us for a little bit. I remember playing football outside with my cousins. And then the day before Thanksgiving, I used to have all my friends over for like a big football game,
Mm,
organized and whatnot. So that was fun. But now the tradition is we go down to my cousins in the Cape, and it is so much fun. We watch the Lions play, and they give me
mhm,
shit for being not shit, but they razz me for being a Lions fan of sorts,
mhm,
Lions stander, I would say, because I have been saying the Lions are going to be good for the past 5 years. You just have to believe.
mhm.
And it happened. Look at best team in the NFL. So yeah, and it's good to hang out with people, your cousins that are your age, and not
Yeah.
sitting with only the adults because that
Mhm.
can get boring. So I'm excited for that tomorrow. Shout out Bob and James and Caroline, Dylan, and Uncle Jimmy. So yeah, that's all we got. All right, that's all we got for you guys. We thank you for tuning in to the Super Show edition of No Nights Off. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and bell notification to know every time we go live. And links in the description, okay, for our social medias, including our TikTok, which we really would like to get that blasting so that we can get more eyes on the product and we can bring and do bigger shit. Because that's obviously the goal. And yeah, we're not maybe back next Sunday. Who knows if Case War Games is insane. But until next time, thank you guys for tuning in. God bless. Have a happy Thanksgiving, and we will see you next time. Peace. Yeah.